Earlier this week, Nico had the pleasure of first visiting this Mother City masterpiece on the slopes of Lion's Head, overlooking the Atlantic Ocean below. When he crossed the suspended bridge leading to its entrance, he knew he'd stepped into an idyllic world bar none. For its creator, architect and interior designer Lari Levy, it's her family home and more.
Lari, I heard your home was a contemporary artist's dream, but this is just incredible.
Thank you. My husband's actually an avid art collector. So when we decided to build our own home, it was very important that we showcased some of the pieces that we'd collected over the years. And it was important that we knew where to hang it all. So we decided to look at the concept of this house as being a series of planes, be them as walls or floating slabs, but it started off with the concept of displaying the art.
Lari designed the house around her husband's collection of classic modernist works by African artists such as Penny Siopis, Wim Botha and Zander Blom.
A lot of the walls you'll see have different textures and different feelings, and it's very important that that is complemented with the art. So it was almost like designing a museum, even though it was our home, and we also wanted it to be a home.
The outdoor space is also an exhibition of creativity, so you're greeted by framed natural scenery or raw but crafted showpieces.
Oh, this is lovely. I noticed the same wooden cladding on the front of the house. Is that a theme throughout?
It's actually a theme I use in most of my houses, especially those that are renovated. It's called upcycling. It's another word for recycling. We take the old from the house, we keep it, and we reuse it in a different way. So for example, this, which was a series of doors and windows and roof timbers, we've just mixed together to create a wall.
So retaining the soul of the house.
Yes, exactly.
What about these steel structures? I'm sure that's for support as well as aesthetics.
I try to follow the old adage of form follows function. When I design a house, I try and look at the structure in an unusual way. For example, this is a concrete slab which is resting on a beam and column, but I've extended the column and the beam so that it looks like it's floating, almost to create an effect of it being a cantilever slab.
I like it.
Every room merges with its external surrounds. The result is a feeling of absolute freedom.
I want to show you my favorite room in the house.
I can see why. This would be one of my favorite rooms as well.
I'm a bit of a bookworm, so I like to chill on this couch while my kids are swimming in the pool. In winter, we close up all the doors. It becomes more of an intimate space. But in summer, it opens up completely and becomes part of the patio.
And once again, very unusual, lovely piece of art.
It's actually, again, the concept of recycling or upcycling. It's old parquet floors. And when I designed this house, I had this piece in mind. I knew that it just needed to be on this wall. And in fact, it inspired that fireplace, which is also parquet floor that have been cut up. And I've kept the old bits of glue and all the different colors just to give it that edge, that patina.
Well, if I'm not looking at the art on the wall, I'm looking at the natural beauty outside.
It's interesting you should say that. That was exactly the concept of this house. We wanted to make sure that wherever there was a view to be captured, it was captured, and we were quite specific about where there would be glazing. If it's not a view of Lion's Head or a small pocket view of the sea, we were capturing the greenery. Some of the greenery came with the original property, and I was quite specific about keeping that. I wanted to make sure that each outdoor space, just like the inside, had its own specific function. So for example, there's a contemplative garden, there is a garden for kicking a ball, there's a courtyard which is more sculptural, and then there's a swimming pool and viewing garden. So wherever you are in the house, you're always looking out onto something green.
The large open-plan dining area acts as a circulation point, which opens up to the lawn and family room. Lari incorporated a neutral palette to accentuate the bold colors in the art. Being a living space, it had to be both warm and comfortable.
So one of the things we tried to do with the home was to create cross-ventilation wherever we could, so that we could have natural heating and cooling rather than artificial.
And then of course you've got the upcycled timber cladding over there. I've got to say, Lari, you've done an incredible job, not only with the architecture, but with the decor as well. One has to wonder, how did you get into this business?
Do you want to know the real story? Well, I was young and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I went to a club one night, and one of the guys that was trying to chat me up came and started chatting about being an architectural student, which he was. The more he spoke, the more interested I became in architecture and the less interested I became in him. But it made sense. I had done maths, art and science at school, and this was a perfect combination of the three, so that's how I set my heart on it.
Together with business partner Trevor Knipe, she co-founded ACK Architects and Interiors. Her home is a refuge from her busy work schedule.
Nico, this is the main bedroom. It's actually like the second lounge in our home because we spend a lot of time here as a family. Again, I've just used some neutral tones, lots of textures, lots of knits and different fabrics. Like this blanket, for example, which was hand-felted by traditional women in Johannesburg.
That's lovely.
So this room is very different to my children's bedrooms, which were designed with each of them in mind. My daughter's room is a real girl's room. She collects hearts, so we made a feature of that. And my son is quite sporty, so his room is reflective of that too.
He breaks hearts.
Perhaps. Not yet. He's still my little boy.
With her loving husband Darren and their 2 young children, Hannah and Ben, for this achiever, her home is a treasure chest for her dearest affections, complemented by the cherished works of art.
Well, Larry, your style is certainly unique and sought after. What do you think it is that sets you apart?
I don't know if it sets me apart, but I certainly think that my clients enjoy the fact that I'm a woman and a mother, and that resonates with them. I'm very passionate about my work, and I think that for everyone that is always a recipe for success.
It's not easy creating a living art gallery that's also a family sanctuary. Leave it to Lari Levy to make them one and the same.